mój das macham. Więc chodź do tańca, gdy krok to szansa i los nam gra. Mam duszę starca, nie lubię walca, na palcach gram. Na palcach gram, na palcach gram.
What's good, Spurs Knights? It's your boy Clan, the Spurs fan. I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. If you could, give me a like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. Now, let's get straight into it. Our San Antonio Spurs have been playing tremendously over the past month. Ever since, I think, the beginning of December to now, they've been killing it. But the thing about them is there's still one issue, one underlining issue that I'm seeing with them that I stated earlier this season, and it's still lingering over, and we got to talk about it. I was actually at the game yesterday, and it was awesome to see them. It was awesome to see them in person. I've been to plenty of Spurs games, but every time they come into town, I go see them because I love my Spurs. So I'm sitting there watching them. They're at shoot around, they're joking around with each other. DeMar DeRozan was playing. I mean, not playing great. During shoot around, he wasn't really talking to many people, but I was just looking down there. I was looking at how they interacted with each other. I was looking at how Brandon interacted with Quincy Pondexter. I think they're best friends. I was noticing how Marco interact with Powell. It was like, wow, this team looks like they really got a bond together. And usually we don't see that until the rodeo road trip, but it's happening really early. That this team is very, very together, very connected with one another. They're all on the same page. But one thing that they're on the same page with, that we don't want them to be on the same page with, is the fact that every single player on this team underestimates their opponents. Now, earlier this season, I gave a top 5 reasons why the San Antonio Spurs were losing. The number one reason, because I gave 5, and the 5th reason, which was the number one reason, was that they were underestimating their opponents. Now, I think I gave injuries. I think I said it was lack of ball movement, lack of aggression, and I was talking about LaMarcus Aldridge, how LaMarcus Aldridge was not playing well. They fixed all of that. The top 4, or 4 of the reasons why they were losing, they fixed it, and they've been pretty good since then. But they're still underestimating their opponents. The San Antonio Spurs, the reason why they lost to Memphis, and I watched the game in person, good seats and everything. The reason why they lost this game is because they weren't studying the Memphis Grizzlies. They really thought, well, yeah, we're having a bad game right now, but we'll just come alive in the third. Well, we're still better. It's no big deal. And you cannot do that against a team like Memphis Grizzlies, who know you very well. They're in your division. They're hard-nosed, and I know they got rid of Lionel Hollins and Fizdale's gone and all that, and now they got Bickerstaff. But this mindset of the Grizzlies have fairly remained the same through their tenure since they made it to the Western Conference Finals to now. They've tried to keep the same mindset. They will try to beat you up. And in this type of game, in this atmosphere, I don't know why the Spurs played so soft. They did. They played as if we could come back at any time. You cannot do that. And on top of it all, the refereeing was terrible. When Davis Bertans get kicked out of the game, you know it's an issue. You know there's a problem. If he gets kicked out, it's the referees. If he gets mad enough where he gets kicked out, it's the referees, because Bertans is fairly quiet. So I'm looking at this game like, Spurs, show up, punch him in the mouth. And even Popovich saw it because he kept taking out players, putting in play. I knew it was an issue in the second quarter when I saw Quincy Pondexter on the court. I said, oh my God, this team did not come to show up. They did not show up today. It just blew my mind. Now I'm watching it. Pop didn't yell at any of the players. It looked like he was getting on to him a little bit with some of his body language, but he never really just straight up called them out or anything. Like, that's not what it looked like. But I really do believe that this team underestimates opponents, and they were thinking, well, we'll just go in here, take care of Memphis real quick, and then after this, we got to go take care of business against OKC. I guarantee you tonight we're going to see a totally different team than we saw yesterday. yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna be honest, last night, and it's not just because I was at the game. That was the worst Spurs game of the season. And I know you'll straight up say, well, what about all those 30-point games we lost? No. This was the worst loss of the season. And why I say that is during the time we were losing by 30, 20, 30 points, at least you could hide behind the excuse that, hey, we ain't got it together yet. Hey, these are new players. Hey, this person's injured. Hey, Derek White's just now getting into the offense. At least you could hide behind that. But in this game, there is no excuses for you to come in and not even show up and only put up, I think, 86 points. No excuses for that whatsoever. So the Spurs have to go into these games with the mindset that these teams want to beat us, because you got to keep in mind, even though we're a different team this year, we're still the San Antonio Spurs. These players and these teams still go into these situations going against the San Antonio Spurs and saying, hey, we have to beat these guys. Hey, these are 5-time champions. Hey, we got to play perfect. They still have that mindset. So regardless of who's on the team or how things have changed, you still have to come into these games almost as if it's a playoff game, because they want to beat you. And when they beat you, they have instant gratification, because they're like, yo, we just beat the San Antonio Spurs. We're in good shape. You cannot, I keep saying this, but you cannot go into these games underestimating these guys. The Grizzlies is a decent team. They just haven't been playing well, and that's the gist of it. Now, I do want to say one thing about this game, and I'm not going to ignore it. And when I said that the team didn't show up, I do believe there was a couple players that showed up. I feel like Marco showed up. Patty shows up almost every game. I mean, even if it's not stats-wise, communication-wise, energy-wise, Patty always shows up. So Marco showed up. Patty showed up. I think Bertans showed up. You know, him getting those penalties was bad, but I felt like he was going to get it going. Derek White, keep your head up, buddy, because I want to say something about Derek White. You couldn't see it. If you watched it on television, you couldn't see it. But I was watching him during halftime when he was coming back on the court. His head was down. He was down and out. He was beating himself. He was beating up himself for those fouls that were called on him. He was not encouraged during this game. He was very discouraged. And Pop, it looked like Pop came up to him, talked to him, said it's gonna be all right, pat him on the back or whatever. Derek White came and showed up. These refs, and I'm gonna complain about the refs just for a split second. These refs did Derek White completely wrong. That was not cool. It was so bad. The fouls that were called on Derek White were so bad, guys. So bad. I know some people didn't watch the game. It was terrible, some of these calls they was getting. I think he ended with like 5 fouls, and we had to keep taking him out of the game, and that didn't help us at all. Rudy's already not playing. We ain't implemented Lonnie yet, and it just looked bad. Bertans getting kicked out of the game, and all the while our point guard is getting all these fouls on him. I'm gonna tell you something. Derek White is one of the best defenders, and I'll say this right now, one of the best guard defenders in the NBA. I can see it already. He's one of the best. These refs calling fouls on him, it was just a matter of them not knowing who he was. Because I'll tell you something, Memphis Grizzlies as an organization, as a collective group, didn't even know some of the names on the Spurs roster. They didn't know how to say Jakob Poeltl. The announcer, every time he came on, he said Jakob Patel. They didn't even know how to say our guys' names. So I'm looking at this with Derek White. I'm like, y'all just don't know who he is, and you're assuming that he's fouling when he's really not. He was playing great, and I thought that refs looked at footage also. That's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but Derek White does not foul like that. They were calling fouls that were heinous. It was like, okay, y'all only doing this because you don't know who he is. I mean, as soon as a guy missed a shot, they're like, oh, that has to be a foul on White. It was one foul that wasn't on White at all. I think it might have been on Jakob. Or no. It was on Davis. It was on Davis Bertans, and they called it on White. So, don't get me wrong. I know that the refs had a huge part of this game also. So, I'm not going to just put all the blame on the Spurs. Not all of it. But at the same time, when you have these refs against you, when you're going against a team that cannot shoot, they cannot shoot, and you're a team that can shoot very well, you have more talent, you have better coaching, and even in this stadium, there were plenty of Spurs fans, so it was kind of on your side in that aspect too. And for you to come into this game and give a half-hearted effort, it's bullcrap, guys. It's bullcrap. So, you know, there's, I know this seems kind of like a negative video, but at the same time, it's a positive video because it's something that's very fixable. You guys fixed 4 things that I mentioned earlier this season. All 4 were fixed. The aggression, LA, passing the ball, even the injuries, people coming back from injury. All those things are fixed. But now your 5th reason why you're losing, you got to fix it. You got to fix it. And it's underestimating opponents. And that is a basketball sin. That is a sports sin. That is an athletic association sin. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So, yeah, guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate all the love. I always say this, but I appreciate the love and support that you guys have given to this channel. I want it to continue to grow. I want us to get this whole Spurs community going and have people go to one place where we can express our love and passion for the game. And also, I want to make an announcement. Spurs Rap Part 2 will be coming. I'm still writing it. I had so much fun with the first one, but there was a few people, just a few. Most people were like, yo, I was feeling it. Yo, I liked it. There was a few people that said it was trash. Trash, okay. Part 2, let's see if you can say it's trash. And you probably will still say it's trash, so I don't care. But still, Part 2 gonna be heat. Part 2 gonna be heat. I'm doing it on like a little Japanese trap beat, so like a Japanese beat. And it's kind of hard. The first one, people said, that's too much like Eminem. You know I love Eminem, so I changed it up a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And you guys, you stay blessed. Keep watching these games. And I'm really expecting the Spurs to beat OKC tonight. But yeah, man, these back-to-backs are killing us. We keep losing them. We keep losing them. At least one of these games, we always lose. But I will get with y'all later. Deuces. Appreciate the love. Until next time, Spurs Nights.